Hi Leute und willkommen zurück zu Vampyr. Die redet zu viel. So, wir wollen mal gucken, wo es... Ah, da geht's weiter.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Wo will der hin? Kann ich irgendwas hier machen? Bin ich schon so ein... Ah, stimmt, Beobachtung ist das ja gewesen.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me, just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Nähe der Kirche. Wo muss ich hin? Da lang. Trotzdem mal gucken, ob wir irgendwo noch rein können. Irgendwas sammeln können.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
God. Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Joe Peterson, aha.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Also kleine Vampire. Nix.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? I always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Naja, Leuten helfen ist ja nicht so verkehrt. Aber er will Geschäfte machen. Bisschen unsympathisch. Noch nix. Hier hatten wir alles, ja.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Was hat er denn so? Aluminiumfragment. Nichts, was mich gerade so interessiert. Was ist das? Opium. Ja gut, das kriegen wir auch woanders. Wir sind ganz schön arm eigentlich, ne? Jetzt fehlt eine Menge Kohle. Ey, was mit dir?
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Aha.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You are a criminal who endorses criminal activity. The least you could do is stop hiding behind this pretense.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Aha. Das war sein bester Freund. Ja, aber nichts.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Ja, nichts gegen Erschöpfung.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Da müssen wir uns auch mal wieder was von herstellen. So, lesen wir das hier nochmal. Verteidigen Sie unser aller Vaterland, aller Freiheit. Treten Sie der königlichen Flotte bei. Möchten Sie mehr wissen? Fragen Sie das Rettungsbüro nach. Alles klar. Und hier? Okay, Vaterland braucht Sie. Schließen Sie sich. Ja, das haben wir alles schon. So, du drangsalierst ihn.
Judged for your sins. Even now, he judges your words and actions.
Was ist mit ihm?
The wars of men should not be your main concern. The disease upon us is
Ja, halt
not
die
an
Schnauze.
accident
Excuse
of
me, sir.
nature.
Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Ich mach mal das.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Die wurden wahrscheinlich ausgesaugt.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Hat er auch irgendwas? Auch Erschöpfung. Brauchen echt viel mehr Medikamente.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Ist das der Typ, der oben steht?
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Interessant. So, was mit dir?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Ah, er hat uns auch schon ein paar Vampire gesehen.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Ja, er möchte Vampire jagen.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the...
Quite a
Das hatten wir schon, ne?
judgmental opinion, if you ask.
But you...
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Die Wissenschaft in unserer eigenen Hoffnung, doch. Ah, ich glaube an das.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad. And dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Aber er möchte die verbrennen. Das ist jetzt auch kein großer Unterschied.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Alter, der bringt ja richtig viel EP. Wir wissen noch nicht mal alles. Aber wir brauchen auch Stufe 5 für ihn. Interessant. Da müssen wir noch ein bisschen für was tun. Ah, Moment, hier haben wir noch einen. Ah ne, das war der Typ von eben. Ups, nein.
Goodbye, Mr.
Den hatten wir schon. Können wir hier ein bisschen rumschnüffeln? Ja, können wir. Das klingt schon wieder nach Kampf. Ja, wo ist er? Ich hoffe, es ist nur einer. Ja, ist nur einer. Alles klar. Oh ja, komm her, komm her. Wow, wo kommt ihr denn alle her? Ist ja gut. Ich mach das weg. Ich kann so ein bisschen kämpfen. Und Ausdauer. Oh, gleich beide erwischt. Sehr schön. Ah, wir sind safe in der Zeit. Will er mich verarschen? Oh, falsche Taste. Deswegen. Wow, wow, lasst mich mal kurz hier in Ruhe. Jawohl. Schön daneben geschlagen. Ja, das ist doch... Wow, wow, wow. Das sieht aus. Ist ja gut. Ja. Oh nö. Ich wollte gerade zustechen. Na gut. Ja. Diesmal haben wir dich abgefangen. Ja, das Schlagen braucht echt eine Menge. Zum Glück ist das Ausweichen relativ... Ach nö, komm schon. Also ausdauertechnisch ist das Ausweichen relativ sparsam. Wow, genau reingerannt. Ist das ein Ernst? Ich schlag ein und der andere greift mich an? Machen wir es halt so. Wisst ihr, was ich noch... Wow, das war knapp. Geht doch. So, jetzt haben wir nur noch dich. Sehr, sehr schön. So, und weg mit dir. So. Haben wir es doch noch geschafft. Ich habe erst gedacht, das ist nur einer, aber... Na gut. So, von hier kamen wir. Den haben wir schon ausgesaugt. Oder beklaut. Hier kommen wir nicht durch. Gucken wir nochmal hier. Influencer. Influencer, häufig von Lungenentzündung begleitet. Bleiben Sie zu Hause, um die spanische Grippe in jedem Fall zu vermeiden. Na gut, wenn man die hat, dann verbreitet man die wenigstens auch nicht. So, von da kam ich jetzt. Ich wollte hier lang. Bei den einzelnen Gegnern ist das ja immer ganz okay, aber... Junge, du siehst verrückt aus. Ich habe jetzt leider nicht auf die Uhr geguckt, aber ich würde sagen, wir beenden hier erstmal den Part und gucken, was der zu sagen hat. Dann bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.